Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. I honestly cannot wait to film it, so I'm excited that I'm finally sitting down to film it for you guys. A lot of you guys were asking me to do a review on Wet n Wild's new brush set that you saw floating around online, or saw photos of it floating around online. And I saw the photos myself and I was so excited because I honestly just love affordable makeup brushes. Wet n Wild is a cruelty-free brand and the brush set is actually vegan and the bristles are synthetic. So I honestly could not wait to grab it, especially because it retails for $30, which I think is a great price. So this is what the box looks like. It is their new Pro brush set. It comes with 10 different face and eye brushes. The handles are really beautiful. They're like this pink, purpley silver, and then the bristles are white. Like I said, they are synthetic. So the box says they are cruelty-free and vegan, which is great. They are densely packed, ultra soft bristles, and the synthetic bristles are actually supposed to mimic the consistency of natural hair bristles. So I can't wait to show you guys the brushes. Before I get into it, I did get mine online at Walgreens.com. This set is going to be available at Walgreens exclusively as far as I know, but it sounds like people have only found it on Walgreens.com and in Walgreens stores. I did have to pay shipping. Mine was $5.99, but I saw later that you can actually click an option to ship to your local Walgreens store for free, which is really nice. So then you can just go in and pick it up and you don't have to pay that shipping fee. Of course, if you can find it in stores, that's always better so you don't have to wait for it. Mine only took like 3 days to get to me, which wasn't too bad at all. So I think that's it for the basics. Let's jump into it and I'll show you guys what's inside. So this is what the box looks like. It just has a picture of all of the brushes on the front. It's just like a white cardboard piece that you slide open to reveal the box. And then when you open this box up, the brushes are inside. So this is how the brushes come. You get 6 face brushes and 4 eye brushes. I'll do close-ups of each one so you can get an idea at what the brushes look like, and I'll explain what they're supposed to be used for or what they're called. The brushes are really lightweight and it says Wet n Wild on it. It doesn't list the name of the brush or a number or anything like that. And then the handle has a little notch in it where you can hold onto the brush. The bristles are all white. They're very, very soft. They're very smooth and they feel really comfortable on the face. They are pretty densely packed like the box suggests. And I would say they do mimic the consistency of a natural hair bristle, which I feel like is a nice touch because they don't feel like that hard plasticky material. I wanted to see if they held up after I actually washed them. And I will say they passed the wash test. They're pure white. So I feel like some of my brushes that are pure white will stain and none of these stained. I mean, some of them did take a little extra work to get my foundation or concealer out of the brush. They didn't shed. They went right back to their normal shape. And honestly, I'm so impressed by the quality of these brushes. They feel a little lightweight, so they don't necessarily feel like high quality brushes when you pick them up, but the actual bristles feel very high quality when they're blending the product onto your face. So let me start with the face brushes and then we'll move on to the eye brushes. So the first face brush is the flat contour brush. This is going to be ideal for you if you like cream contouring, even if you like to use powder contour. This is a really nice brush. Honestly, it feels like a lot of the higher end brushes that I have in my collection. I think it blends your contour beautifully onto your face and you can always use it to carve out your contour even more if you go in with like a lighter cream product or a lighter powder. The next one is the precision foundation brush. So this one is shaped at an angle and has a little bit of a dip in the middle. I feel like a lot of foundation brushes have been including that little kind of reservoir in the middle because they want you to apply the foundation directly to the brush and then buff it into your skin. I personally don't like to do that. I feel like the brush just soaks up too much of the product and it's not my favorite when they have that dip in the middle. I just don't really find it beneficial for when I'm applying my foundation. I don't mind the actual shape of this brush. In general, I go in with more of a rounded foundation brush when I'm applying my foundation, but I feel like this one works well. I don't think it gives me the most full coverage look. I think it gives me more of a sheer finish. And I wouldn't even say sheer because when I'm using like a full coverage foundation, it would give me more of like a medium coverage. So I do feel like it shears out your foundation a little bit. It's probably not my ideal foundation brush. I would like to see something even a little bit more dense and maybe a little rounded to get like a really nice even application, but I don't think it's a terrible foundation brush. One of my favorite brushes in the collection is the large powder brush. It's such a high quality brush. I have a lot of brushes like this in my collection and this one honestly compares to a lot of the higher end options I have. I like to use this for so many uses. I think it makes a great powder brush when you're applying powder over your foundation. I think it makes a beautiful bronzer brush because it blends the bronzer so beautifully onto the skin, and it makes a great blush brush as well. I wish I had a bunch of these because it's such a high quality brush. The next brush is the Precision Setting Brush. This one is a really high quality brush as well. I think it's great for setting your under eye concealer. If you like to bake your under eye concealer, it's great for wiping away any excess powder. It might make a good highlighting brush. It's a little bit big, but you could use it for that purpose. I personally like to use it for contouring because it is a nice dome shape, and I tend to prefer dome shaped brushes, and I think it gets right into the hollows of your cheeks. But all around, it's a really good brush. You can use it for a lot of different purposes, and I think it is a high quality brush. This one is the blush brush. I think, again, this one is a really nice brush. I don't typically use brushes like this for my blush. I prefer more of a fluffy brush so I can get more of a diffused application. And this one's a little bit too dense for me to use as a blush brush. I have used it as a foundation brush a few times, but I feel like it's a little bit too fluffy to use as a foundation brush. So if you like a densely packed brush for your blush brush, this might be a great option for you. I wish that it was a little bit smaller so I could use it as a foundation brush regularly. I think that would be perfect, or maybe like a little bit fluffier to use as a blush brush. I definitely think it is a good brush, and if you like more of a saturated appearance with your blush, this might be a great option for you. If you prefer more of a diffused natural look, I would go in with the powder brush, but both of them are really nice brushes. And the last face brush is the Tapered highlighting brush. I love this one. I think it applies highlight so beautifully on your cheekbones. It's like the perfect shape, the perfect size. It is a little bit more of a fluffy brush, so it gives you a really gorgeous glow without being too intense or having like a stripe of highlight across your face. So this one is a great option for highlighting. I think they nailed this one. So those are all of the face brushes. I honestly think they're all very high quality brushes. The only one that I probably won't use is the foundation brush, but only because I have a lot of other foundation brushes in my collection that I prefer. But I think if you're a beginner or you're looking for a well-rounded set, I do think that these face brushes will have you covered. Okay, moving on to the 4 eye brushes. The first one is the Dome Pencil Eye Brush. This one is great for placing color in the outer corner, blending it into the crease, smudging it on the lower lash line, or applying it as an inner corner highlight. I feel like this brush has so many different uses. It's a little bit bigger than some of the pencil brushes that I own, but I feel like that can kind of be a nice change, especially if you have a lot of precise pencil brushes in your collection. So I do like this one. The next one is the Tapered Blending Brush. This one is great for applying color into the crease or as a transition color. It's very fluffy, it's very easy to use, and it blends out the color seamlessly. So I do really like this one. I think it works really well. The next one is also a crease brush. Well, it's technically a fluffy blending brush, but I like to use this one as a crease brush. I think it deposits color perfectly into the crease and then it blends it out really nicely. These are definitely different enough that I think it warrants having both of them in the collection. This one is not, in my opinion, densely packed enough to be a lid brush. I would definitely use it as a blending brush in the crease, so I feel like both of these perform really well. And then the last brush is technically a face brush. It's a precision flat face brush, so I probably should have mentioned it when I was talking about the face brushes, but it's kind of confusing to me. I feel like it is way too small to use as a face brush. I did use it to blend out my under eye concealer, and I guess you could probably use it for cream contouring, but it's just so small and precise that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use it on the face, in my opinion. I wish they either made it a lot larger so you could use it as a stippling brush for under the eyes or even applying foundation, or I wish they just omitted this brush and included like a flat shader brush, because I feel like we are missing a flat shader brush in the eye department. There is no eyeliner brush and there's no flat shader brush. So those are really the only 2 brushes that I feel like the collection is missing. This brush doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but honestly, it's just one little brush and I feel like I could overlook that because all the other brushes are really good quality. So my overall thoughts on this brush collection is that it's definitely worth purchasing, in my opinion. I think that $30 is such a great value for these brushes. They are very high quality. The bristles are very soft and they blend the shadows and the products on your face beautifully, and I definitely recommend them. I think they did a good job. I feel like the brushes are thought out really well. There's only just that one random brush, in my opinion, that I'm not sure about, but I feel like in general, it's a very good quality brush set. Honestly, similar brush sets probably run for like $85 to $90. I know the e.l.f. Beautifully Precise brush collection is up there, as well as the ColourPop brush collection. Both of those are synthetic, vegan, cruelty-free options that I really enjoy. I love the e.l.f. Beautifully Precise brushes, and I really enjoy the ColourPop brushes, but honestly, I would skip both of those sets and spend $30 on this set because in my opinion, it's just such a good value. I think they're going to have trouble keeping it in stock, so if you guys are interested in it, I would definitely recommend grabbing it. I'll link it in the description box below, but I think that's it. I don't think I left anything out. If you have any questions or I did leave some important info out, just let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.